gems lost here.
No, not like those Peruvian miners or something like that. Like fucking De Beers. I wonder what that's like to quell an uprising. Like, do you think it's satisfying on some sort of level? Like, where you got your lookout tower and the sirens are fucking going off and you hear people yelling at you in a foreign language and you're like, all right, I've been dying to use this minigun. Now's the time.
Hey, I bet if you suppress an uprising, you go home at the end of the day and it's like, hey, I've done something.
Yeah,
it's a certain sense of
there's got to be
accomplishment.
like, you go home and like, hey, honey, how was your day? Oh, nothing. Quelled an uprising. It was pretty rad, actually. You ever seen a minigun get fired? Fucking amazing. Oh, that's nice. Was it a big riot? And, just kind of, that's your dinner conversation where you just talk about firing off rounds from a gigantic watchtower. Yeah, I guess that's got to be. I mean, there's probably like somebody in there that's like objecting the entire time. Like, I know this is wrong. They've got feelings, damn it. Like it's
Yeah, but that guy probably would be working on a watchtower.
Leopold, the light-hearted Nazi.
That guy would be working on the...
No one will ever listen to me. I wanted to fire cakes at them, but they wouldn't let me. They crapped on my dream.
That guy would be working on the watchtower publication.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Do they have German
Is it Jehovah's Witnesses? Or
Yeah,
that's the ones.
Yeah, I still remember they gave me a really rad one year. It was like Santa or Satan, and it had like Santa with like fucking cat eyes, like red cat eyes and horns and fire and shit behind him. It was so badass. It would have made a great metal t-shirt. Like, you could just call the band the Watchtower, so you didn't even have to change the logo, and then you could quell an uprising while you're having your show.
You just throw an actual watchtower into your CD.
Fuck yes.
That way,
yes.
Completely cut out the middleman. You don't have to have anybody print the fucking...
I know. And then when these magazines go out, they just think it's your weird, absurdist propaganda plot. Which, like, just write some songs that are just straight up Jehovah's Witnesses lines. Like, when we're... I don't know. What do they do? Do they have a spaceship or anything like that? It seems like they should.
I don't know. I mean, I just know that people don't like them.
Get the Jehovah's Witnesses on the horn. We've got to rebrand them. Yeah, look at what Scientology has been able to achieve financially.
By the way, this is Unitedcypher Presents. I'm DeHart.
This is Shane.
We're waiting on Evan.
This is a little pre-roll material. Who knows if it will ever meet the light of internet day. I'm kind of hoping he comes in with a sitcom-esque like intro. I almost just want us to put a boom mic down by the door. Hey, everybody. And the voice that he does where it always drifts into an old Jewish guy. It's like pretty much every character. He's like Harvey Fierstein, but like nasalier.
And not so much this.
Yeah, doesn't have enough of the guttural Gristle of Fierstein. Like, I guess that's just from years of tearing into, like, I don't know, Marlboros or whatever it is. There needs to be a workout regimen for that kind of voice.
Yeah, I think Tom Waits did that, and it was scream into your pillow every night until you can't speak. That was apparently how he got his dulcet tones.
He must have been a sex industry worker or something. Maybe that's what he meant by late night evening prostitute. It was actually autobiographical in more ways than one.
He's a sex toy tester.
Or something, man.
Somebody's got to make sure these things are good before they send them out.
Yeah.
And every now and then, you get a defective one, and it fucks you up real good.
Any good benefits with that job? Well, depends on what your idea of a benefit is.
Is a prostate massage a benefit?
Misery's the river. Maybe misery is the sex toy of the world. Who knows?
The movie Misery with Kathy Bates.
No, wait, I'm thinking of fucking Deliverance. I don't know why I just got... They're both... Oh, no, I'm not... Yeah, my brain just conflated...
Well, they're both fairly torture-y.
I know, yeah. Ooh, what if those two things came together?
Torture us.
What if it was a couple of Kathy Bates-sized rednecks that get a hold of you at the side of the road, or side of the road, but they're women? You know.
Kathy Bates could make you squeal like a pig.
She probably could, and if you didn't, she would break your legs.
The thing in the story is it's a pig.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a little pig statue.
Yeah.
So it's related, man. It's like a sequel.
Maybe my mind just saw through that. Oh, man, how do you make a sequel to, like... sequel to one of the most horrifying movies ever? They tried that with Silence of the Lambs. And, they did a prequel. Actually, no, they did a prequel and a sequel. One that went into him when he got older, and then one when he was younger. Both of those sucked. It's like, what was it, Hannibal and Red Dragon? Hannibal was after, Red Dragon was before, or was it the other way?
Red Dragon was before. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think. Fuck.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Some of those movies, they're better off where it's just like the one and done. Kind of like, yeah, I've gotten about all I need of that character. I don't need that. Who wants to market that guy? Hey, Hannibal home kit with face mask action. Look, Ma, fava beans.
The problem is like in every movie, it's like they market the movies around him, but he's always like an ancillary character.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Oh yeah, he's a plot device.
Yeah. I'm going to profile the killer.
He's the Where's Waldo of the bunch, because it's like, you know, with Waldo, you just got to find him, but you got to look at all the other shit. So the other shit's what you're really looking at. You're not looking at Waldo. If you find Waldo, it's done. You're like, oh fuck, damn it, on to the next one.
I actually saw Red Dragon in a theater with a large Apache with tattoos on his head.
I was thinking of the helicopter.
No.
I think you brought up a large Apache before.
Could you turn up the volume? I can hardly hear it over the rotors.
You, sir, you in the helicopter, sit down.
Yeah, I'm sitting.
Like the entire back row just gets cleaved off at the neck. Oh, whoa, great effects, guy. 3D. This IMAX is badass.
Oh, shit. Hannibal's going to eat them heads.
To complete the experience, we've hired an obnoxious guy who doesn't understand the whole reason why you're at the theater. You know, it's the guy that yells out the part of the plot right when you put it, like right before you put it together, where it's like, fuck.
Well, with all the modern movies, you've already seen that part of the plot. That was in the commercial for the movie.
That is true. I don't get the TV experience, so I don't see trailers.
I see so few new movies. Mm-hmm. It's like the newest one I've seen was the last Batman, The Dark Knight Rises.
I haven't even seen that. Last thing I saw that was new was Avatar, like, and it was not good. It
was Pocahontas in space.
I was gonna say Dances with Wolves.
No, I mean it's seriously like the whole fucking plot of Pocahontas.
I never watched Pocahontas. I remember the story about like John Smith and all that shit. But I never saw the fucking Disney flick. That was who like exploited the Pocahontas thing, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm sure other people have
Blue
done it.
Corn Moon and shit, which still sounds dumb. Like, I'm so stereotypical. Yeah, there's the part where the chick is singing. She's talking about Blue Corn Moon. That's the only thing I remember about Pocahontas aside from John Smith.
I don't remember that.
There's John Smith, a Disney fucking song with a Blue Corn Moon, and it's like Rhythm of the Wind or something stupid like that.
Okay, well.
Anyway, saying there's a fucking line about a goddamn blue corn moon.
Okay.
In the Indian exploitation movie. Do they have a word for that yet? No. Who does movies about Native Americans anymore? People kind of like forgot about them. You mean that one thing we used to have as a mascot? Oh, crap.
It's like Billy Jack. It wasn't an actual Indian guy, but it was a guy pretending to be an Indian. Kind of like Walker,
Thunderhawk.
Texas.
That was a movie about an Indian. Yeah.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Walker.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an Indian?
No,
like
he's
Native American?
He's like I think he was like raised by Indians.
What the fuck? Like,
they work it in there all the time. his Native American background. That's why he wears when he's got this denim shirt on, it's got like the little geometric pattern.
Yeah,
thing.
I bet he did it for
like
college money. It's just like I've got some strings I can pull here in Texas. Yes, that's Chief Walker to you. Double. I'm double chief. Chief squared. I'm the chief. I never could get into Walker. Like the only Chuck Norris movies where I really enjoyed Chuck Norris was like Delta Force, where I'm like, this is pretty badass. Like, look at him. He just fought his way through an entire fucking
Dude, that
like
was every
prison
episode. Every
Yeah.
episode of Walker Texas Ranger was fucking Delta Force.
But
it was insane.
It's in Texas though. It's like, this is just Texas. This is what they do there.
It was Texas and Delta Force too. I mean, probably. Because they're just out in the fucking desert. Could have been anywhere.
There's Delta Force. He did 2 of those. Missing in Action. There's also those. I forgot about this.
You remember Firewalker? Him and Lou Gossett Jr. are treasure hunters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was like his attempt at an Indiana Jones flick. Who else did one of those? What was it? Romancing the Stone was the other one of those from that time period.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah. There were a few of those that tried to jump onto that train like, hey, what's this? We're going to be treasure hunters. And then Nick Cage is bringing up the rear like 20 years later. Like,
well,
national treasure.
I think that's why that was like a big hit. Because it's like,
People-
we remember those movies from the 80s where people just like looking for treasure. That's why American Pickers is so
Yeah,
popular.
well, like The Golden Child was kind of to an extent a treasure movie, but there was like some philosophical point of view to it at some point. Battling
that was more of
evil,
your typical 80s fantasy adventure.
your quest. I want the knife.
In the 80s, all fantasy movies eventually had to make it into the modern day. Like Warlock, where, Warlock travels through time, and
Or a Highlander.
Highlander, yeah. Leprechaun.
Yeah. Did the Beastmaster ever come to modern times? There were like so many of those.
I don't know. I mean, that definitely sounds like something shitty they would do.
Or then there was the Masters of the Universe movie back then. That was equally terrible fantasy.
Yeah.
What was that? Dolph Lundgren? Was he? No, he was the Punisher.
No, he was He-Man too, I think.
Was he? Okay. The terrible Skeletor in that movie.
He was either that or Flash Gordon. I'm thinking he was He-Man though.
I don't think he could be Flash Gordon. I thought Flash Gordon was a little bit more of a wimpier dude. I can't remember that. I just remember the awful theme song.
Flash.
That was Queen that did that, wasn't it?
Queen was all about shitty fantasy movies.
Dude, yes.
They loved them some fucking fantasy movies.
I don't see. I was watching a nerd battle on the internet today over sci-fi and fantasy, and this dude was talking about Battlestar Galactica, and he's like, I'm not mad at people because they recommended it and it was shitty sci-fi. I'm mad at people because they recommended it and it was boring fantasy. And he was like talking about kind of like the difference between the two. And I kind of have to agree. Most fantasy flicks I don't really get into because I'm like, it's my magical powers. Like, things that kind of like parody that sort of fantasy magical age, like Army of Darkness. That's about as fantastical as I want to get.
Army of Darkness. Darkness is awesome though.
Yes, it is. But it kind of breaks the mold. Conan the Barbarian. I will allow the Conan movies, although the first one is much better than the second. Yeah, you got James Earl Jones.
You get your diminishing returns, and
it's
way better than Red Sonja.
Oh fuck yes! It's such a terrible movie. It's got Brigitte Nielsen, right? Kind of sucked in that. She was better in which was it, Beverly Hills Cop 2, where she played the big
she was
butch chick.
She was too.
Yeah. Yes, the grandpas have their time machine out again. If you didn't realize it. Dubbing the sound effect for that later, whichever one you choose. There are a lot of time machines.
I'm gonna climb in my Wayback Machine to Who Gives a Fuck.
That's right. There are like 3 major time machines. Actually, no, 4 now that I think about it. When they pop in my mind, and that would be the Time Machine.
The original.
Yep.
The OT,
there would be
original
Mr.
Time
Peabody's Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
You would have
a DeLorean.
The DeLorean, and then the fucking TARDIS. I'm trying to think. I think there's one more time machine that I'm missing. Oh, the fucking time machines from Terminator. But it's just a ball of weird stuff.
Yeah, you never see the machine.
Yeah. It's got to be
machine,
pretty kick-ass.
The machine's in the future.
Fires like some sort of electrical ball
I
back in space.
I don't know. I wonder if they show the machine in the last one, because that was supposed to be like, in robot times.
What are they on, like their fourth one now or something?
I
Are there
don't
four
fucking
of them?
know. I don't care.
That too, the law of diminishing returns. When a series lives beyond its shelf life, I mean, it's like now that like they're supposed to make another one, and like they're gonna CGI fucking Arnold's face back to his glory days.
Well, it's like how do you get past the T-1000, man?
I don't know. Well, they fucking froze the fucker, dude.
Well, they froze him and then they dropped him in liquid metal.
Why didn't they show it after it, where he fucking like just assimilates the other stuff? He gets bigger, where he's like the size of a skyscraper, like just sucks up the other metal.
And that would be pretty badass.
That would have been badass. Did they go that way? No, they didn't.
You know, if they would have made that in Japan, totally would have happened.
Yes, dude.
There would have been a giant
nuclear
T-1000, and then
he's got ice powers too at that point, ice and fire powers, and he's radioactive.
And then the T-100 would have to unlock some kind of hidden power to where he would become a giant robot. I want to know if I were a magician and I had a Highlander as an assistant, could I literally cut him in half? It'd be a great trick.
Seems feasible.
Is he going to have to put himself back together, or does he grow new parts?
I don't know, because if he grew new ones, what's to say he wouldn't be like a fucking like
Two of 'em.
earthworm? Yeah, earthworm, and you split him. It's like all of a sudden there's two Highlanders. Like, oh shit.
If you cut a Highlander down the middle,
now
head
the other
doesn't
thing
go.
too. What if they're battling, and let's say they both swing at each other at the same time and lop off each other's heads at the same time? Is this a Highlander paradox? Like, does it go to a photo finish?
I think it goes to the nearest possible Highlander.
No. What if they're the last two?
If they're the last two,
And they chop each other's heads
I
off
guess
at the
it's a
exact
tie.
same time. Is that the only way to totally vanquish the Highlander race?
yeah, let's do that. Let's
Or
vanquish them.
does that just like start it over? You don't need some dicks running around like just trying to be like, hey man, I'm a fucking Highlander. I'm gonna go like battle some shit and live forever, dude. Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to some Queen and rock out.
Yet another Queen fantasy soundtrack.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple more out there. I mean, there's probably even a Wikipedia page devoted to like Queen sci-fi fantasy soundtrack things, rock operas. Queen was not a bad group, but some of that shit is just like, yeah, huh?
Flash. Ah.
Yeah, pretty much. Wonder what would happen if you slowed that down, like where it's like, Flash.
Have you ever heard any of those like insanely stretched songs? It's like I remember there was somebody stretched Heart of Glass to like an hour.
Oh, that sounds painful.
It's just
Yeah, I haven't. That sounds terrible.
It's so fucking weird.
It's like throbbing Gristle's version of Heart of Glass.
Throbbing Gristle?
Yeah, it's kind of like a noise group almost. Anyways, let's see. To the internet.
Siri, give me throbbing Gristle.
Yeah, well, when you ask that way, I don't think you're gonna end up with a very friendly page there. Also recommended Pork Dukes.
Pork Dukes.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you like things that are related to fat.
How about Hamburger Lady? Let's play a little bit of that. Stay in school, kids. Avoid art students. They'll make shit like this and then Queen rock opera soundtracks. Seriously, that's like an acid trip right there. Or how about this rocking hit, 20 jazz funk greats.
Oh boy.
This actually might be the greatest album ever. Dude, this is like Basement Band.
Dude,
The
it's
CD. How is Evan not famous?
those sound like wells in a special ed class.
Rolling Stone says it's like whales in a special ed class.